This video is going to be available after I have edited. Like the first part is very long. I was just trying to figure out things, and so that part I'm gonna cut out. Pretty much the rest will be kept. Okay. So very good, everyone. Welcome. And my name is Edgar Huang, and so let me just introduce myself. And some of you know me, some of you probably don't. And my name is Edgar Huang, and let me just show you in what capacity I'm giving this talk tonight. So I'm talking in four capacities. Number one, I'm a veteran SAT English tutor. You can slash ACT if you wish. Doesn't matter. So I started to teach SAT English in 2006, and literally have trained thousands and thousands of students from all around the world, and mainly in the United States and Canada. So then I just help them fulfill their college dreams. Oh, by the way, I was an English major in college, and also I taught news writing and editing in college. When I was teaching in University of South Florida many years ago, and plus I taught like a GRE and TOEFL in what is now called New Oriental. Many of you know it's probably the most famous organization of its kind in China, and so I have like a very strong research publication record, and so that's how I can make my coaching for my students both on the conceptual level and on the mechanical level very appropriate and also professional. So that's what I have been doing. Plus, number two, I'm a tenured professor from Indiana University. I taught in School of Informatics and Computing, and this is me. My profile is still on its website today. Over the years, I've taught like more than 20 courses in 6 universities since 1984. Yeah, last year was my 35 years of college teaching, and I retired in 2019, early. Okay, and then I'm a very well established researcher, a well-published researcher in e-health and some other areas. If you search me in Google Scholar, you can find a lot of writings on mine. Number three, I'm a veteran college counselor. This part is the most pertaining to you folks who are listening here. And I have very rich experiences of teaching and conducting research as a professor and recruiting undergraduate and the graduate students for my university and for my school, both domestically and internationally. Sounds like I'm reading, but this is exactly what I have to say. So pretty much I'm like coaching my students from an insider's perspective because of my university experiences, very rich experiences as a professor and as a college recruiter. And so I have counsel students from 9th grade on, and so many students joined my program since 9th grade. And also since 2010, I have over the years I've sent numerous students to those top colleges. This is a short record of the two performances in last year and also this year. So this year, the outcome just came out right by April 1st. So every year I send tons of students into those colleges, plus some other ones, which I don't have space to list here. Okay, and so if you want, some of these students have been with me ever since 9th grade or 10th grade. Some joined my program in 11th grade when they wanted to apply to colleges. And so I have 2 streams of students. And then as a counselor, I need to, excuse me. So all my 3 kids graduated from colleges. And so the oldest kid is a daughter, and she graduated from Rice University and moved on to a law school and then became a lawyer for the U.S. Air Force, and she is still serving there. And second is a son, and he graduated from Stanford University, also got the master's degree from Stanford University, and now he is a scientist. And the last kid is a girl who graduated from Harvard University and moved on to be in a medical school, and so she is still working in the medical school right now. So, so I'm just trying to show my background and also a little bit more. So I have shared my counseling experience with a lot of people in mainly in the United States. Otherwise, I have talked to people in U.S. Embassy in Beijing and also New Oriental in Beijing at its invitation. Mainly people who know how to read in Chinese have read. I know that there is a kind of a delay. It's okay, but I still want to hear your feedback. Anyone? Yes, yeah. From ninth grade to 10th grade, I coach students, and I have okay so ranking 2020. Uh, my guess at the beginning, I thought maybe your dream schools uh, fall into this short list. This is the list of top 30 in the United States. I guess I was not wrong. So yeah, take a look. All these colleges you have mentioned pretty much are in this short list. And so many students of mine every year go to these got accepted by these schools. So is it like a magic here? No. It's all about coaching. And the coaching, long term or short term, it's about coaching, still coaching. All right. So now let's come back and talk about some philosophical question here. Okay. Why should you apply to top colleges? Okay, that's a $1 million question. And some of you say, oh, I have this reason, that reason. Sure. Okay. Now, I need to tell you ahead of time. Okay. Whether you strive for top colleges is an attitude issue. Let me know if you agree with me. Okay, it's an attitude issue. It's all about whether I want to excel or not academically and or non-academically. So this is an attitude issue. Eventually, whether you get into a top college is another issue. Okay, it's determined by the result is determined by many factors, such as your way of trying. For instance, like you thought I tried really hard, and how come my student didn't get in? Okay, it's not about trying hard. Okay, it's about trying the right way, and that matters. Okay, so you do need to try hard, but you need to try the right way. Okay, and also your school profile matters. Okay, and also your ability matters. Opportunities offered to you, or maybe you can grab matter as well. Hey, recommendation letters matter. Okay, do I have a control over the recommendation letters? Yes, you do. Okay, so you do have many high schools have something called brag sheet. You brag about yourself. Your parents will brag about you. You will brag about you either way or both ways. So you do have like influence on, not control, influence on your reference writers. Okay, and many other factors as well. So come back a little bit. Okay, not entering the top college does not mean the end of the world, and you don't want to think that way. There are many opportunities in the world. However, the question still comes back. Why do we still try to get into a top college? Okay, not a top college. So that's the question. That's my answer. Okay, life is a matter of attitude. Life is a matter of attitude. And this is a line under in my signature every time I respond to my students' emails. And so again, it's whether you want to try to excel or not. That's what you need to do. Anyway, so still coming back to the question, why? Okay, number one, resources. Those top colleges have the best professors, best facilities, abundant funding, abundant research, internship, and other opportunities, which many other colleges probably cannot provide. Also, the impact on the students. You have a much broader scope of view because of your opportunities to access such resources. and also you have rich career connections and opportunities that those colleges provide to you. Possibly you will meet someone will be your future wife or future husband, and also don't forget you get into one of those top colleges, you have a legacy. Your impact goes to your next generation or maybe your younger siblings, so that's why it's a lifetime impact. Okay, it's a lifetime impact. All right, so let's move down. All right, so in 12th grade, many students ask the question, man, what should I write when they see college application questions? When they ask this question, there are two possibilities over here. First possibility is that, man, I have too many things I can talk about. Which one should I choose? Wow, that's a good problem, okay? The second possibility is that, geez, I have poorly prepared myself. I don't know what to say. No, that's a terrible problem. Okay, so that's why you cannot just say, oh, let me just start to prepare in 12th grade. Too late. Way too late. So when do you need to start to prepare? At latest, in the freshman year in high school. That's what you need to do, okay? Ideally, a student starts even earlier. Parents of a middle school student should cultivate his or her four things over here, okay? Number one, interests in at least one area. When I say interests, could be in multiple areas, academic or non-academic. It could be like a chemistry, math, English, government, sports, art, music, whatever, academic or non-academic, okay. Also, ability in that area, right? So sometimes the people may say that, yeah, I'm interested in getting some response here. Oh, okay, that's very good. I don't want you to be bothered by whatever is boom, boom, boom. Advertising this talk tonight, I said like a students from 5th grade on. Okay, 5th grade on. So are there any other students who are below high school right now listening? Especially young students like 5th graders and 6th graders. Any one of you? Young students? Yeah, those students, if you are here, yeah, this page is for you. Okay, this page is for you, or maybe the parents of those young kids. Okay, so number one, you cultivate. Okay, good. It's a streaming. Okay, very good. Okay, number one, you cultivate interests in those in those areas. And for instance, like when you go to college, okay, cool, very good. Quite a few of you. Okay, very good. So number two, ability. Number three, once you have demonstrated your ability in that area, at least one area, okay, at least one area, you will gain confidence, right? So how do you gain confidence? For instance, like yeah, I like watching movies. Okay, so I'm gonna watch by sitting in the couch, and then someday, like 2 years later, I will naturally become a movie producer. Are you kidding me? It doesn't make sense, It won't happen that way. So that's why being a couch potato will make you a movie producer, okay? So you have to be actively engaged in learning, producing, practicing, and then finally become one. And you get the confidence. So that's why cultivate interests, cultivate abilities, and then gain confidence. That's what you need to do. On the other hand, the last piece is personality trait development, because this is not something you can develop overnight. It takes a long time. And oftentimes the students, when they are young, they tend to be shy, don't talk, and no confidence. And so that's why it takes time for you to get on board. Okay, get on board. So start early. So I want you to see the difference between being prepared and not prepared. Take a look at this question from Stanford University. Okay, this question. It asks, How did you spend your last 2 summers? And some of the students, what? I wish I had known this question earlier because I could have prepared myself. Exactly. Okay, I'm gonna get there. Okay, but take a look at this student's preparation, the essay. Okay, and you can see it's very short. It's not even 50 words. Okay, intern at the biomedical research labs at the University of New Mexico. Cool. You were interning over there. Okay, what did you get out of it? Not stated. Okay, shadowed an internist. Okay, well that's good. Okay, what happened afterwards? Nothing. Okay, don't know. Visited East Coast and the college campuses. Ooh, you even wrote that? What's the fuss? Does that fact make you stand out of the crowd? No. Why did you write it? I have no idea. Broke my 7-year streak of no sunburns. Wow, you really have nothing to write about. You're just dumping those irrelevant things into it. Oh yeah, I just want to make myself look like a human being. Okay, sorry, enough. So, but let's take a look at another answer. Take a look at this one. Stanford University Math Summer Camp. Ooh, when an admission officer sees this one line, just one line, his or her eyes will just suddenly just brighten up. What? You got into that one? All of those, almost all of them know this camp has a 5% acceptance rate, meaning you can get into this one, you can get into Harvard and Stanford. Okay, so this is not like a trivial. You can tell already. And another one, Yale Young Global Scholars Program. Oh, okay, yeah, it's okay. It's not that bad. Okay, it's usually around like a 25% acceptance rate. It's not the most prestigious, but it's good. Okay, and top 30. At Fancy Nationals. Wow, that's awesome. It's non-academic, okay? And then next year, what? You got into Canada USA Math Camp? Yes, roughly 5% acceptance rate as well, around that ballpark. So that's why like a 2 year, it's a double kill, 2 heavyweight, like a summer camps. And the admissions officers cannot ignore you because this is something just like dramatic. And so that's why blah, 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 blah. We have some other things. Oh, we have a fundraising. So all of these things make a huge difference in, when you, in your application. So when an admission officer sees this credential, this is absolutely impressive. Absolutely. All right. Do I have a suggestion on summer? That's a huge question. It looks like you asked me to write an article. I do have an article in this regard. Yeah. Okay. All right. Any comment on this question? No, it cannot be more than 50 words. It is within 50 words, definitely. I mean, you're talking about the second answer for Stanford, yeah. Okay, so folks, yeah. Let me tell you, okay, for this Caltech question, it's just a killer. Yeah, many students are not prepared when they apply because they didn't know, oh, do I need to answer a question about diversity? And so diversity, number one, what is diversity? Number two, have I done anything? No. If you have done something, it doesn't necessarily mean you have achieved something. So that's why for this question, if you're interested in applying to Caltech, I'm just giving this as an example. Okay, so Carter says you could talk about your experiences with the diversity and how it's affected your personality and your ambitions, and because of that, what you bring to the community. Yes, you can, but I need to see some like a impactful efforts from you regarding diversity, if possible. Yeah. Also, let's say D says, hold on, the question is, do you feel comfortable? Yeah. Comfortable means that I can answer it in a very impactful way if I can. If not, I just did something To be honest, the college admission offices don't really care much about what you have done. They care only about what you have achieved. Let me point this out very clearly, everyone. Let me just move on, okay? Describe an example of your leadership experience in which you have positively influenced others, helped resolve disputes, or contributed to group efforts over time. And this question comes from University of California system. And so you are expected to talk about your leadership. And some students, almost everyone, most of the students, not everyone, okay, most of the students I have coached had very strong leadership experiences. And so leadership means a whole lot. I'm going to talk about this a little bit later. And the peer make your community a better place. Okay. The key word of this question is, everyone, you can tell. What's the key word in this question about the community service? Yeah, everyone, I'm just waiting for you to give me your answer. What is the key word in this question? Community. Done. Better. Okay. Okay, all right. Everyone, the key word in this question is better. Yeah, is better. Is better. Okay. So, meaning you have literally done something to make your community truly better. Oh, I achieved something, right? So let me give an example here. I went to the nursing home and to cheer up those senior citizens to make their lives better. Okay, and say, oh yeah, you said that. Okay, did you make their lives better? Yeah, I think so. And you begin to tell me, I think so. Do you have any evidence? No. Okay. So what does that mean? Then how can you tell that you have made them better, So take a look, folks, okay? Let me point this out. When you have not achieved something, I can tell you right now what's going to happen in your college application essays. You're going to come up with, I believe, I think, in my opinion. Okay, you will toss a lot of I believe, I think, your opinion, which your admission officers don't care. They don't care, okay, about what you think, what you believe. And what really matters is, what have you achieved? Show me evidence right now. So that's what matters, okay? So that the lesson to learn is, you need to collect evidence. Okay, let's move on to the next page. So, bring back to my point I stated earlier, okay? So I said many students got shocked, okay, over the years, got shocked, when they got to the 12th year, and then suddenly I need to apply to colleges, so open up the Common App account, and then read through the questions. What? I need to answer that question? I wish I had known earlier. So that's why, everyone, open an account. commonapp.org account today, early. Okay. Now, of course, if you're in high school already, if you're not in high school yet, it's probably a little bit too early. So then, of course, if you want to create like an official account under the name of your parents, you can just sign in as a parent, and you simply just want to read the questions. You can also do that. Okay. Why do you want to do that? Because after you open an account, I want you to add the universities you're interested in into your account. Yeah, at most you can add 20. After that, you can just swap with other colleges you're interested in, okay? And then you can read the questions from those colleges and to ask yourself, do I feel comfortable with answering these questions? If not, you can ask yourself, what do I need to do to make myself comfortably answer these questions? That's the purpose, okay? So after that, you have a plan. That's the point. You have a plan. What should I do? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things I need to do to make myself comfortably answer these questions from these colleges that I believe I'm going to apply to in the future. Okay, so that's the point, everyone. Hope you are listening and you will take action. Okay, you will listen and take action. Move on to the next page. Now, this is the meat for today's talk, everyone. This is the meat. Okay, so how do you prepare? That's the question. There are 8 pillars in college applications, which I will cover. This is just the starting point. Cumulative GPA and standardized test scores, personality trait growth, including clubs and paid jobs, and academic preparations such as internships, research, summer camps, and job shadowing. And number 5, competitions, including academic and non-academic competitions. Community service, leadership and collaborations, and finally, presentations. All right, so now folks, from number 1 to number 8, you see a progressive importance, meaning they become more and more important. From number 1 to number 7, all these things added together will become the raw material for your presentations in the future. Okay, so just want to show you the relationship among or between these 8 items. All right, so everyone, let's move on to the next page. Let's talk about number 1, cumulative GPA based on coursework. Okay, you must earn A's in rigorous courses such as AP courses, IB, and honors courses. Okay, so sometimes occasionally you have some like a B or B's. Okay, all right, fine. You're not perfect. No one is perfect, but try to get A's. Your GPA determines your school ranking. Even though sometimes some schools don't rank students, all the data from students' performances are there. Some schools may provide such data to admission officers, some may not, you never know. That's why when 2 students are equal footing, are being compared, you may not know what's going on. The admission officers may have such information, okay? And your counselor may provide such information to the admission officers, okay? So you must get serious ever since you get into high school. Yeah, you may have heard that some of the colleges will ignore your GPA from 9th grade, such as University of California. However, many colleges do care about your 9th grade GPA. So that's why you have to be serious ever since 9th grade. And some of the students, when they get into 9th grade, they are still just goofing around, playing a lot of games, and they could have used the time to do more important things, but they don't. So that's why I want to call your attention to the fact that GPA is cumulative. It goes up. So once you have lagged behind, it might be very difficult for you to catch up later on. So watch out. Number 2, standardize the test scores. Okay, you have SAT or ACT. Take one of them, doesn't really matter. Okay, just take one. Occasionally you need to take 2. It's okay if you want to take 2. So my advice to all my SAT class students is you get minimum 1560 on SAT with an essay score of 21 or above. ACT score minimum 35 with an essay score of 10 minimum. Okay, so that's the my advice to my students. All right, so also don't forget to take just don't forget to take the essay. Some of the colleges already, many of them actually, have taken SAT or ACT essay score as like a optional. Okay. However, when you apply to those top colleges, anything optional should be taken as required. Okay, because if you cannot even take such like a small challenge of writing an essay, in SAT or ACT, how can you just take bigger challenges? So that's a point. Okay, that's a point. And also try your very best to go beyond the cutoff line in your PSAT, performance. So every state has a different cutoff line, and you can find the cutoff line very easily. You can just search. For instance, you come from California, let's say California PSAT cutoff, and you can find it immediately. Okay. All right, number 3, personality trait growth. I mentioned that when I was in the early page. So I really want to have a call to all of you, especially those of you who are still young. Okay, have you woken up? Have you woken up? Okay, so a child's outstanding personality is not cultivated overnight, and you do need to really wake up. Okay, so let me ask you this simple question. Have you ever experienced a moment when you have suddenly made a big strides academically? Okay? Or have you excelled in your school and beyond? Yeah, just not in your school. You compete outside of school. How did you even think of competing beyond school? Somebody told you? Maybe you thought of that by yourself? Okay? If you haven't, you really need to wake up. So let me just talk about these personality traits. For instance, confidence, maturity in one way or another. Okay, and are you a responsible person? Are you easygoing person, caring, of integrity, honest, unique, interesting, and happy? Yeah. I remember one year. One of my students from New York City wrote about it. She is a happy girl. She just wrote about this theme. I'm a happy girl, and she talks about how happy she is, all the time. And that girl, absolutely, every time I saw her, she always smiled so beautifully, and just like from the bottom of her heart. So it's like such a beautiful smile. And this girl also was an outstanding mathematician. And yeah, she did a whole lot of outstanding things. She went to SUMAC, Stanford Math Summer Camp, for 2 summers. I helped her got into Harvard University in early action. So personality trait growth is very important. And I hope when you're young, you become gradually more confident. You will become more mature, more confident instead of very shy. And also try to learn to collaborate with the people. And also, because you are easygoing, you tend to get a leadership role more easily. So that's the point. And also being a unique person. Wow, that's very interesting, very important, folks. I'm not just trying to make it up, because when I went to one time, I think I went to my daughter's an event at Harvard University. This Nobel Prize winner. He was a physicist, but he played the harp on stage. So people have a different kinds of talents in one person. So now, why I'm just promoting asking my students to be such interesting, unique person, I have tried my best to make myself a Renaissance man as well. So I'm a professor in media arts and science. I created movies, and I'm a movie maker. Yes, I did create movies. I'm a professional photographer. On the other hand, I use my left brain to do research, and a very well-established researcher, well-published researcher. And also, I am a college counselor, and very I have taught a teacher. I have taught as an English tutor for many years, English tutor. And also, I'm very well liked chef. Someday, when I have nothing to do, when I cannot make money with anything, I can just open a restaurant. I can sell the food I make. Anyway, so try to be interesting. That's my point. Okay, and there are these are the 15 additional general ratings that Harvard University are looking for. And also, these are also concerned by many other colleges in the United States. And the list is way long, so I don't want to read it, but hope you can get a sense from it. Also, you can, club is a very good place for you to grow personality traits, right? So you can, work with other people, because personality traits, folks, everyone, is those things don't really apply when you are by yourself. It doesn't really matter. You're just by yourself. Who cares? But when you work with other people, yeah, those traits really matter. Let me go back to the list over here, right? Confident in front of people, right? I can show my confidence. Maturity, again, it's about a relationship. Responsibility, again, it's about a relationship. On and on and on. It's all about relationship. So that's why club is probably one of the best places for you to cultivate your personality traits. And how many clubs to join is up to you, but there is no need for you to join a lot of clubs, but rather you want to join. You may start with maybe 4 or 5. It's okay, but eventually you're gonna just dwindle down to a 2, or even maybe just 1, in which you will serve as the president, or maybe sometimes you can take on the leadership role. Sometimes, if you want to get the leadership role early, create your own club. You can do that. But don't forget, at the end of the day, it's not just about joining the club. It's not just about doing something in the club. It's all about creating impact through the club. That's what you need to do. All right. Paid jobs. I have put it over here, but that is not necessarily a top priority. But this is a top priority for those students who may struggle financially. And so this is, if you have such experience going through paid jobs, and because of the need, you may have excellent essays to write later on. Otherwise, you have some a very common opportunities from Kumon. Yeah, it's all over the places in North America. Restaurant, ice cream store, for instance, or maybe you can just start a company of your own. Is that very rare for high school students to start a company of their own? Not really. Over the years, almost every year, I have at least one student who has entrepreneurship experience. And the last year, I had this student who ran a company with a estimate of a $2 million. It's a startup. So that's really bold and audacious entrepreneurship experience. Anyway, so sports are important as well. I already said it's a non-academic ability. You can just join and cultivate interest and ability, compete, get confidence. Later on, you may have very good stories to tell. Now, let me tell you a little bit. In recent years, because of the scandals revolving around sports admissions, this year I have noticed very salient way, those students who are excellent in sports and they want to apply to a D1, D3 colleges. Many of them didn't do well for that reason. So that's why probably you still need to excel academically, even though your athletics excels as well. Okay, so but over the years, I have coached many sports-oriented students to get into top colleges, including Harvard University. Yeah. All right. So internships. That's another thing you need to you can be engaged in. You'd better know. The point here is that when you do internship, you'd better do it in the area that you're going to claim as your major in college. Otherwise, I intern in business, but I want to study, let's say, philosophy. Hey, what's the point? What's the point? Hey, they are not connected. So that's why all your academic preparations that's the point, okay? All your academic preparations should center on the major area, the area that you're going to claim as your major, okay? So that's why the earlier you know what you want to major in, the better you can prepare yourself. That's the point, all right? Now, if you know well enough what you want to study and what career you desire later on, so number one, try to gain practical knowledge and skills at work or an academic institute, like a university. So this is internship. Yeah, internship doesn't have to be in a company or a nonprofit organization. Sometimes it can be in a university. Okay. Number two, start shadowing professionals in that field to make sure that's exactly what you want. Now, let me give an example here. Some students are wondering, my parents told me that they want me to become a doctor. And then I think I want to become a doctor as well. And one day, suddenly one day you heard from Dr. Wang saying that maybe you should shadow a doctor and see whether this is what you want to do in the future. And so you went to a hospital and then you saw all the blood all over the places. Oh, that's not for me. Maybe that's what your experience is like. Maybe that's your response. Obviously, being a doctor is not for you. You can tell. So that's why getting a job shadow, I'm just taking being a doctor as an example here. Okay. So anyway, also try to create an impact in such an environment. Sometimes students just go there to learn from an internship. Oh, nothing's wrong. You should learn from an internship. However, hopefully you can create impact from your learning as well. Let me give an example. Last year, I came across this student, and he became he joined my college application support program, and I helped him apply to colleges. And he told me his experience with NASA. He was interning at NASA, and so while he was doing the internship there, he at the invitation of the scientist, director over there, so he created an algorithm to help the scientists to observe the stars through the telescopes. And so this algorithm was later on used, incorporated into the work environment, has been used at NASA. What? As a high school student, you can do that kind of thing? That's the impact. That's the impact. So that's why it is, if you can tell such a story, whoa, you are awesome. You are awesome. So that's why everyone, this is something I want you to think about. Don't just go there and learn, but rather create impact if you can. Research. This is another aspect you need to consider. Okay, a student's research achievements add exceptional weight to a student's college applications. Pay attention to my wording. Exceptional weight. It's huge. It's a huge if you do research. Okay, and also I didn't say you did research, you will be exceptional. I didn't say that. I said research achievements. Okay, some students have come up with a poster, come up with a paper, and you have even written that fact in your 10 activities in the commonapp.org. Okay, yeah, it's in there you have a 10 activities you have to list, and then the admission officers see that fact. Naturally, the admission officers in his or her mind, the brain is gonna spin immediately. What happened to the paper? Was it presented to a conference? Was it published in the journal? Or did you win something from a high school student science competition or something, right? Oh, nothing. Okay, so that's not achievement. You just had a paper, No one knows whether your paper is good or not. So that's why, sorry. Okay, so make sure you listen very carefully here, okay? Research demonstrates a student's extraordinary interest and ability in the field. So later on, let's say I did research in chemistry, and later on, this fact can greatly endorse my claim that I want to study chemistry as a major in college. Get it, everyone? Make sure you as I said, one more time, okay? All your academic preparations must revolve around the area you will claim as your major. Also, summer camps. Okay? So, summer camps, there are two kinds, competitive and non-competitive. Most of the summer camps for ninth graders, okay, are non-competitive. Now, I don't want to talk about summer camps for middle school students, because whatever you do, feel free. You can do whatever you want to do, because none of the things you do in middle school will be carried into your Common App. It doesn't really matter, okay? But you can just get exposed to this area or that area of training. That's fine, okay? But in high school, ninth graders, normally you don't get into a competitive summer camp. Some do, okay? Some do, if they are very, very well prepared. From 10th grade on, especially 11th grade, the summer after 10th grade and the summer after 11th grade, if you don't get into a competitive summer camp, that says something about you. That fact says something about you. So that's why if you can get into a very competitive summer camp, that makes a huge difference. Do you still remember the credential for answering the Stanford question? What did you do in the last 2 summers, right? The second student, 2 summers. The first summer, she got into Stanford Math Summer Camp. The second summer, at the end of 11th grade, she got into Canada-US Math Summer Camp. So, double kill. This is huge. And those admission officers really cannot ignore you if that's the case, because they are very competitive. And you cannot ignore the fact that college admissions are competitions. You cannot ignore that, right? Stanford University, 5% acceptance rate, or even lower. Harvard University, the same. What does that mean? Most students cannot get in. How come you get in? It's a competition. So that's why you have to show to the admission officers that you are highly competitive. I have evidence to show you, okay? And these competitions show you. Plus, don't forget, in Common App, there is a slot called called honors. You need to provide 5 academic honors. And 5 academic honors? Where do I get them? You may ask yourself in 11th grade or 12th grade when the time is over and too late. At the time, it's way too late. And you said, nobody has told me I have to present 5 academic honors. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, everyone. Maybe it's too late. Maybe it's not too late. But I'm telling you right now, okay? So be prepared. And most of those honors come from competitions, academic competitions, okay? Make sure they are academic honors. If you have won things in sports, music and art, or community service, leadership, blah, blah, they don't count. They are not academic honors. So make sure you understand the wording. I use words very precisely, and I tend to teach my students to express themselves precisely as well. I always tell my students, write like a lawyer. That's what you need to do. So these are, I'm giving you some examples of very competitive summer camps, such as RSI, SSP, some math summer camps such as SUMAC, Ross, Canada-US, already told you, Promise, right? And also some research-oriented summer camps such as HSP, RISE, and then you have this humanities summer camp task, which arguably is the most difficult to get in. LBW for business, or WTP for girls if you are interested in technology. So these are the things that oftentimes can really make a huge difference. And some of the counselors will tell you that, oh yeah, summer camps, they don't count. They don't matter. Okay, all right. You decide whom you want to listen to. Okay, I have seen over the years, I have seen salient correlations between the summer camp admissions and later on college admissions. Don't have to trust me if you want, if you don't want to. Okay, move on. Competitions. Now, you don't want to forget, okay, summer camps are competitions as well. Like a 5%. How come you got in? I didn't get in, right? They are competitions. And then we have real competitions, okay? Academic competitions and non-academic competitions, such as essay competitions, many of them on the national level, international level, maybe regional level as well, I don't know. And then a lot of science competitions, all the Olympiads are science competitions. Technology, like robotics, computer science, aviation, blah, 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 okay? Debate and speech competitions, many of them. Model UN, yes, that's competition as well, counted as academic. Okay, and then there are other non-academic competitions such as sports, music, art. By the way, competition level, the higher the better. Okay, so if you want to I'm a brilliant pianist, cool. Okay, if you just claim so, nobody will believe you. You go out and compete and win, and then you can show evidence. I am brilliant because I didn't see that. Other people rated me as brilliant, that you have evidence to show. And so over the years, I have, helped to sow three of the brilliant pianists into colleges, and two of them from New York State, and another one from New York City. All of them are from New York, and they won like a piano awards, competition awards from many international competitions and national competitions and regional competitions as well. And two of them got into Harvard in early action, and one got into Harvard in regular decision. So, and this year I had this application cycle. I have also a pianist, a musician, into Princeton. Yeah, so this is exceptional. All right, so there are different. My point here is that why do you compete in non-academic competitions? Because there are different routes to get into a top college. Because a top college needs all kinds of students, not just like academically strong students. I helped this girl who won martial arts international world champion 21 times. No kidding, 21 times. And so I helped her got into Harvard University in early action as well. So number 6, community service. Okay, community service. Think about this. If you have like a very strong case for yourself in terms of a GPA, SAT score, and also academic competitions, geez, you're outstanding. But if you just have those things and nothing else, you probably will show yourself in front of the admission offices as sort of like a nerd, don't you think? Right? It's sort of like a nerd. So that's because you only care about yourself and you don't care about other people. That's the kind of image. Excuse me. So that's the kind of image you present yourself. So community service is the best place for you to take initiatives and train leadership. And so this is, you need to grab opportunities to come up with some achievements in your community service as well. So don't just do something. Remember 2 words, okay, everyone? Remember 2 words when you provide community service, okay? Unique and impactful. Yeah, do unique things and do impactful things. Because of time limit, I don't have time to expand on this point. And many students do, number one, simply just do something. They don't care about the impact. That's a terrible way to do community service. Number two, yeah, I heard other people just go to those like Nicaragua or maybe Africa or China to do community service. Oh, I'm going too, okay? And then you come back and you say your admission officers may ask, to themselves, not of course not you. You're not in front, and so in your local area, so many people need your help. But why didn't you to help them? Instead, you just go to such a remote place to provide a so-called community service, which is pretty superficial. Anyway, so that's why ask yourself, how can I create unique and impactful community service? Because if you want to create impact, chances are it takes time, right? So what matters most is whether you have an interesting story to tell. That's what matters, okay? Now, number 7, leadership and collaborations, okay? Leadership can be demonstrated through school clubs, as I already told you. Community service, I've covered that as well. Yeah, competitions. Oftentimes, it's a team, you compete. Oh, orchestra, okay, you're a section leader, you're the conductor, or maybe something else. So that's why leadership is everywhere. You need to go find opportunities. That's what you need, okay? And the students have demonstrated strong leadership. And those students, let me tell you, students who have demonstrated strong leadership have a huge edge in college applications. Pay attention to this point. Yep. And so also at the same time, leadership cultivates collaborative spirit and abilities. And so that's why those students who have a very strong leadership, this year, let me put it this way. This year, I had one student from Canada who had a very strong leadership, unique leadership, got accepted by Stanford University. Another student from California had very strong leadership in school, okay? He got into Princeton and Yale as well. So last piece, okay? Presentation. Your presentation from your essay, your interview, and your recommendation letters are vital. Yeah, because many people think that, just write an essay, okay? What's the fuss about an essay? It's just like icing on the cake. No, totally wrong, okay? Essays are definitely not icing on a cake. They are another layer of preparation for you to present yourself to the admission officers. And so all those things from number 1 to number 7, I told you, are raw materials for you to cook into a delicious meal. And that cooking is your presentation, okay? And so that's why it's important. Guess what? Many students, okay, outstanding students, take them very lightly. They think that they can handle. And then they just do it by themselves. Until December 15th, I just received tons of phone calls or emails sometimes from parents, almost 100% from mothers. My son or my daughter got deferred or rejected by Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, UPenn, MIT, whatever. How did that even happen? How is that even possible? Okay, and they said, could you take a look at my son's essays? And sometimes I had time, I would read. Most of the times I don't. I don't read. And when I read, almost 100% times, yes, it's the essays got him or her screwed up. So that's why the essays are very important. You really need to learn how to play the game and how to. Sorry, I'm using the word sarcastically, but it is really a game. Okay, literally and figuratively. Anyway, and so my experience has shown me that many of the students who later on I helped get into Harvard, Stanford, those kind of top colleges, You started with writing pretty bad essays. Yeah, pretty bad essays. And so, and like an essay is good or bad. Oftentimes, people think that it's subjective. No, it's not. Okay, an essay is good or bad in front of two admission offices. Both of them will come up more or less the same feedback. Okay, unless an essay is really deviant. Most of the times, you can easily tell how good it is or bad it is. It's very objective, and I read essays very objectively as well. Okay, so let me show you like three success stories from my students and see how these students have prepared themselves for a triumphant college admission. Okay, take a look. This is a girl from 2016, and she got accepted by Harvard in early action, and she had national competition record in ISEF. Okay, third place. That's awesome. That's really, really big. Chemistry Olympia, national chemistry Olympia finalist. Wow. Okay, that's awesome. And blah, blah. There are other things. And summer MIT launch. Whoa. That's not easy to get in. Yeah, that's not easy to get in. It's really tough to get in. So wonderful. Plus, whoa, something quite interesting. Miss State Junior Teen and some other things. So obviously, this is not a nerd. You can tell this girl is not a nerd. And so that's why this kind of a unique credential got herself into Harvard University. So well done. This is a boy, also from 2016. And national competitions, merit semifinalist. Okay, all right, I don't care about that. Military school awards and honors. Well, almost no high school students have these this kind of honors, and this student got the military school awards and honors. This is brilliant. Summer, the student went to the summer Stanford's summer humanities program in philosophy and literature. Okay, summer humanities. So one more time. And summer research. Oh, wait, wow. This student pretty much is a Stanford stalker. So that's why he has demonstrated like a strong interest in Stanford. And also he, getting into those programs is not easy either. So that's why he has demonstrated not only interest, but also ability, in terms of his academics. Plus, he has also something quite interesting. He studied abroad in middle school and in high school as well. Actually, it is both in middle school. Yeah, in 6th grade and 8th grade. Yeah, studying abroad in Hangzhou, China, and the Dublin, Ireland. And he wrote about his experience of studying abroad and talked about how he got interested in history because of the teacher in Dublin, Ireland. So this is just, and then he wrote about his military school training as well. That experience, his unique profile, got himself into Stanford. This student is more typical, to say the least. He is just like a crusher. Did just too well in everything. He took like a 15 AP tests, all 5. No kidding, all 5. And then he just like ranked really, really high in his school, top 1% of the class. It's just already an understatement when you say top 1%. National competitions, he was in National Economics Challenges, and he won Individual Achievement Award, in National Personal Financial Challenge, top 10 team. It's a team award. Chicago Federal Reserve Challenge. He was everywhere, in those in those things. And also summer camps. He went to multiple. And he wrote about his experience when he was joining the West Point Summer Leadership Experience camp. And the essay has been, ever since then, one of the best essays I have ever seen for Common App essay. So that's a very touching story. Yeah. So, okay, and there are other things. So I'm just trying to show you that being prepared well for colleges is super important, and such preparations should start at latest in ninth grade, if not earlier. Okay, so when you are still in middle school, everyone, you're listening. If you listen, please. If middle school students, okay, even elementary school students, if you're here, okay, try to cultivate your interests and ability to compete in middle school. Then when you get into high school, you're on the run. You can just like run immediately, okay? When I say on the run, I'm not like a escape kind of run, okay? You can just like run immediately instead of walking, exploring, trying to figure out. So yeah, when you get to the ninth grade, run right now, compete. And you can compete also for those top-notch summer camps. I did have students who competed for top-notch summer camps in ninth grade, such as Promise. It's a math camp. So your resume and your college application essays should both be written prognostically. What does that word mean? It's an SAT word. Okay, prognostically means looking into the future, plan for myself, and then I want to get from point A to point B. That B is my dream school, and A is where I am right now. I haven't achieved anything yet, not much, maybe some, but if I want to get there, it takes me a lot more to get there. And how I need to get there, instead of just working hard, I need to work smartly. That's what you need to do, okay? So in 12th grade, your college application essays will be anchored by your achievements. It's very important you know this word. If you forget every word I have said today, remember this word, achievements. In 12th grade, you cannot change your history or make up your history. But when you still have time, create your history now. Everyone, now. Create your history right now before you have lost the time, okay? So let me just wrap it up, okay? So how should a student prepare for applying to top colleges in the United States? Don't forget these 8 pillars, okay? Cumulative GPA, okay? Standardize the test scores. You need only one, okay? Outstanding one. Don't forget SAT 1560/21 for essay. ACT 35 minimum /9 minimum. Okay, personality trait growth. Hope you have done an excellent job in clubs and paid job. If you can, do it. If not, you don't have to. Academic preparations. Yes, you don't have to do all of these things, but if you need to, you can. These are the choices. I'm telling you: internships, research, summer camps, job shadowing. I will say one more time: you don't have to do all of these things, but if you want to be everywhere, nothing is wrong. Okay, nothing is wrong. Competitions are for you to demonstrate your capabilities. You don't just want to show to admission offices that I am interested in something, but I'm not good at it. Or you may say, yes, I am good at chemistry, or let's say, okay, chemistry. But do you have an evidence to show you're good at chemistry? No. Okay, so that doesn't sound right. Okay, that doesn't add up. Okay, community service is very important to show that you are a human being. You're not a learning machine. Okay, so I care about people. I care about things around me. Leadership and the collaborations, that's the ultimate, trait that can push you into a top college. So that's why it's very important you demonstrate your leadership very strongly. Okay. Finally, don't take your college application essay writing lightly. They are super important to you. They are not icing on the cake. They are a totally different layer of preparation, a different layer of presentation. You present yourself in so many different ways in competitions, research, GPA, so and so. Now it's time for you to put all these things into a narrative or narratives to present yourself. Okay. Be prepared and be happy. Okay. So your college application essays will ask you, why did I mention these 7 aspects actually in front? Okay. The presentation covers those 7 aspects because your